It's been a while, but it's time for another edition of my series highlighting parks that I've grown up visiting that the zoo community as a whole might be less familiar with, and giving my top reasons for why they are worth a visit. So far I've covered Potter Park and the Potawatomi Zoo. Today's spotlight is another from my home state, John Ball Zoo. To cover the basics, John Ball Zoo is located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. If you Google it, you would be told that the zoo is 140 acres, but I'm pretty sure that refers to the park the zoo is located in. The zoo itself, according to one of my zoo guidebooks, is just 31 acres, though there is some space for expansion. I first visited John Ball Zoo in 2010, and like every other zoo out there, quite a bit has changed since then. I've now made 10 total visits, including one in 6 of the last 7 years. With my credentials covered, we'll begin with number 5, the history. John Ball Zoo will celebrate its 135th year next year, ranking it well amongst the oldest zoos in the United States. The zoo was established in 1891 with 40 acres of land left as a gift to the city of Grand Rapids by pioneer John Ball. While the zoo, like most, has modernized throughout the years, you can, for now, still find some neat remnants of the past, particularly in the zoo's Americas section. One is the Spider Monkey Island, originally constructed in 1949 and renovated exactly 60 years later in 2009 to become a present-day version of the Monkey Island that every zoo had back in the day. Another is the zoo's brown bear habitat, which was updated in 2013, but maintained the backdrop of the 1960s bear and sheep grottos that once held polar bears at the time of their opening. In contrast to the zoo's historical side, John Ball also offers several outstanding top-quality exhibits that would not look out of place at a big-name zoo. One is the Tigers of the Realm, which opened in 2014, and I'll discuss more in just a minute. 2 more can be found in the zoo's Africa zone, with the beautiful Lions of Lake Manyara, a 2008 edition that just welcomed a new pride of lions earlier this month, and 2001's Mokomboso Valley, a lush chimpanzee habitat that stacks up well with those found at much larger zoos like Dallas and Detroit. Most recently, in 2023, the zoo added an indoor-outdoor pygmy hippo complex that is the epitome of modern zoo feel, and now gives guests a state-of-the-art experience the second they walk through the gates, and which you can get a full tour of by clicking the card above. If there's one thing that can entice zoo fanatics more than high-quality exhibits, it's unique exhibits, something that offers a different experience than what you'll find at other parks. While it doesn't compare in size or quality to the one at Toledo, for example, there's not many zoos of John Ball's size that have an aquarium at all. While it is a brief experience, there is an open-air penguin habitat, rock lobsters, and a tide pool. In my opinion, the zoo's most unique exhibit is the Idema Forest Realm, which takes you away from the main zoo up into the woods on boardwalks and dirt paths. There's 2 tiger habitats, the first of which is a hillside home that offers the potential for semi-underwater viewing. The second tiger habitat is actually located some distance away up the hill, is larger, and offers a more natural forest feel. But the most unique feature is that the 2 habitats are connected by a trail through the woods. Another area that takes you away from the main zoo is the Wild Way Trail. While not as impressive an exhibit as the Forest Realm, the Wild Way Trail instead is composed of a handful of smaller exhibits, including one for lemurs that lets them walk above your head. And you can kind of share the same space with wallabies. Uniqueness is the surest way for a zoo to get a zoo enthusiast attention, and the other half of that is having unique species. While I am by no means claiming that John Ball has the best collection I've ever seen, here are some of their species that I always look forward to seeing, especially from a more local perspective. The pygmy hippos that I mentioned earlier are the only ones you'll find in an AZA zoo in Michigan, Indiana, or Ohio. While I have now seen them a few more times traveling around the country, I've only seen Chicoan peccaries at one other zoo in the Great Lakes area, which coincidentally I'm pretty sure is where John Ball got theirs from. And again, they're the only ones in Michigan. Snowy owls and especially golden eagles are 2 raptor species that are less common to come across. The Natural Treasures building, a combined reptile and small mammal building, has some less common animals as well. Sadly, the black-footed cat is no longer here, but you will find a Grand Cayman blue iguana and multiple 6-banded armadillos in place of the more commonly displayed 3-banded armadillo, and who totally stole the show on my last visit by being surprisingly awake and active. And finally, the #1 reason to visit John Ball Zoo moving forward, it's going to get so much better. In 2024, John Ball Zoo released an exciting new master plan. Before I go any further, I want to acknowledge that zoo master plans rarely come to fruition in full because future plans are constantly changing. But assuming that at least the more detailed additions outlined in the master plan come to pass roughly as described, here is what we have to look forward to. Going in order of the planned additions, Phase 1 will be a major Africa expansion, adding to what is already the zoo's best quality area in my opinion. Giraffes are the big confirmed addition, but there's also a mention of a Great Ape expansion either for gorillas or the zoo's existing chimpanzee troop, and other smaller habitats for, as of yet, undetermined species. Phase 2 will focus on the Entry Valley, building on the new Pygmy Hippo complex to create Waters of the World, with new habitats for flamingos, otters, and possibly more. Phase 3 will reimagine the zoo center, with the location of Monkey Island becoming a cutting-edge sea lion exhibit. Phase 4 is the most vague, but will include additions to the forest realm, with possible species listed including snow leopards, who are currently displayed in the zoo's Americas region for some reason, Arctic foxes, Asian antelope or deer, and even moose. This phase also includes an all-new Australia zone that will take over part of the current Wild Way Trail. Which leaves us with the final phase, the one I think all zoo buffs would agree is the most exciting, a multi-level South American rainforest building, which the zoo boldly claims will be among the best indoor habitats on the continent. If the zoo is able to follow through on these plans, especially this last one, it would instantly transform the zoo into a must-see facility that all zoo fanatics would flock to. Which wraps up my pitch for why you should check out Michigan's John Ball Zoo. As always, please share your thoughts in the comments and let me know which of these 4 zoos you would like to see featured in this format next.